my fascinating Renaissance friends. First things first. Have you ever encountered that before? People telling you, hey, 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 first things first. Okay? So that's how I would start episode 204. Still unpacking my resonance life, still on the third A in the transition phase, which is action. All right. And the question is, how or should my day look like? If you're unpacking it, if I'm doing concrete actions, right, making sure that the resonance life is the life I live every moment henceforth. Okay, so what is first things first? I guess before we can even go further, I'm gonna do this, do this, do this. You know, I guess the next question there is why. Okay, so every tool, every action, because we're in the third day, every action is what we call a deliberate tool or means towards one overarching direction. Right? So, what is that overarching direction? Of course, I told you is the resonance life, really. But what is it really made of? Okay? So, what is an overarching goal for everything that I will be doing henceforth, which is really what? Action steps. Okay? Um, there is this psychological, not formula. It is really more of a flow chart. And you can actually invert it. Okay, who I am, okay, determines why I do what. Okay, meaning, who I am as a person will determine the reasons. Okay, why I am doing what I'm doing, whether I'm doing this or that. Right? Now you do an inverse what explanation for that. If what I'm doing is this, example, I'm what? I'm planning a trip to Hawaii. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. That's the what. Okay. And then the next question is why? Hawaii? Why not Paris? That's the reason why. And why now and not next year? So that's the why, right? So the plan to go to Hawaii is the what. Why would be why now and why not Paris? Okay, and the question is because this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what kind of a person I am. I do not like the the things the things happening in Paris. I prefer Hawaii. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter. For me, it's true. So that will be the what. Okay, is based on the why. The why is based on who I am as a person, how I think. What do I want? What do I desire? Right. So that is the overarching goal. Right. So first we have first things first. Okay. What is my overarching goal in all of these activities? Which is really what makes the resonance line. Bottom line, bottom line, I'll tell you two words: freedom and independence. That's exactly what my resonance life is. It's got to be, okay, it's got to be really a measure of freedom and independence. So, first, let's define what's the difference. People use that interchangeably. Like, it's the same meaning. It's just, a synonym. It's the same meaning. Well, yes and no. They build on each other. They are related to each other, but they have very different concepts. Okay? So let me start with independence. Okay? Freedom and independence, independence and freedom. Okay, so let's start with independence because that's the foundation. All right? So independence is a state of being. It's a state of being. What does that mean? State of being self-sufficient. Meaning, if I have independence, I am self-sufficient. I don't need to depend on people for anything. Okay? Otherwise, they will impose on me what they want. So I will not be independent. Okay? So as being self-sufficient is not depending on people to help me, to give me what I want. Okay? I am actually free from outside control, outside threats. Okay? That's being independent. So he said, I can use independent thinking, meaning I will not be forced by any media, okay, to think like the way they want me to think, or I do not, I cannot be influenced by somebody because they can threaten, oh, I'm not going to give you money. And since I need money, I will not be independent. You get me? So self-reliance and freedom from outside control. That's independence. How about freedom? What is freedom? Freedom is the ability to make choices, okay, and not be restrained or restricted by what? By threats. Right? It's the ability to make a decision, to choose from among the many options. All right. So I do not want this. I want this. I do not want the hustle culture. I want the resonance life. Okay. So I want that. I have that freedom to choose which way I want to go. So they build on each other, where independence provides the foundation. Okay, meaning you're self-reliant. You don't need help from anybody. You can stand on your own and go. You can make the choice that you want without any fear, without any fear from people not providing for your needs. Okay? Okay. So this is how freedom and independence looks like in real life. In real life. Okay? They're fine. They're fine. At least for me, that's the most important one. Manifestations. Okay? First, the freedom to worship the way I want to worship. The freedom to worship my God and Creator. Alright? And not be threatened with death. In other countries, okay, uh, they don't want you to worship the God of your choice, right? They want to insist that you follow them. So if you want to be an atheist, then you're free. If you want to be a Buddhist, then you're free. I am a biblical Christian. I am a Christian who believes in a creator God. I freedom to worship him, freedom to talk about him, freedom to tell people, freedom to read, all of this about him. Okay? That's how it translates in real life. Freedom of worship, freedom of faith. Okay, of course, you're also free, okay, not to be influenced by me. Okay, but if you want to be influenced, you're also free. Okay. Second freedom for me and how it translates is freedom to use my time any way I want to. Okay? And not being what? And not being burdened by, oh, I have to meet deadlines. Oh, I have to see this person because I'm expected to. Oh, I have to start a meeting. This is what I call carpet living. Carpet, carpet is from end to end. There's a carpet end to end. There is no space. There is no margin. It's all covered. This is what a heavy schedule is. Like back-to-back meetings. Meetings all throughout the day. Freedom from that. Okay, freedom to choose another way of living. Okay, so freedom also afforded, okay, by having what I call more than enough resources. The freedom to have more than enough resources to be able to afford, okay, paying the bills, okay, saving, going to for travel, buying something I desire. All right, I will not have that freedom if I do not have more than enough financial resources to be able to do that. Okay. Now, how about independence? Independence, is having the surplus to invest in what? In small luxuries, right? Small luxuries without worrying and overthinking about where every centavo goes. I'm from the Philippines, so pesos and centavo. That's the independence to be able, okay, to be able to invest in things that really make me happy, right? And of course, the other one is the independence of thought and decision, all right, without compulsion or threat. I mean, for me to think like this is independence. Because if I am not allowed to think like this, and I should be thinking like everybody else, accepting everybody else's opinion, living according to what they say I should be living, but that is not independence. Independence is living my life according to my own terms. Why? Because I can stand on my own. I can, I cannot, I will not depend on them, to finance my living. So definitely, I have that. Okay, and of course, independence of action and movement without being a burden to people. I guess, if I'm very sick, then I cannot be independent. I would have to depend on people to carry me around, etc. Okay? So, everything else, money is a tool to have independence and freedom. Power is a tool. And because you don't have power, so power is a tool. It's not power hungry. Okay, money is a tool. Power is a tool. Wealth is a tool. Okay, authority is a tool. All of this, for me, is to gain, excuse me, freedom and independence, which is the overarching goal of a resonance life. Okay, so my resonance life is simply described as living life according to my own terms, not dictated by fears, not dictated by control of others. So, excuse me. The next episodes, I will concretize this. When I say concretize, exactly what are those things that I have to do on a daily basis so that I can have the freedom and the independence that describes for me my resonance life. Okay? So don't forget to like and subscribe my lovely, lovely, fascinating Renaissance friends so we can be together navigating these things. Okay, so until then, goodbye.